forward.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Woke by Accident Podcast, a weekly chat about socially conscious topics impacting the culture. We are happy to have our co-host, Sambaza, host and creator of the Sambaza Podcast, originating from the Republic of Kenya. He has established himself as a distinguished voice in the podcasting community. His work has been recognized with 3 nominations for Best African Diasporan Podcast by the APDA, along with a nomination for Best Blog by the Texas Creator Awards. Since 2023, Sambaza has been a featured presenter at the Afros and Audio Podcast Festival, and he contributed to the 2025 Podfest. Welcome, Sambaza.
Hey, Jen, how are you doing? That's the
Good
flag.
to see you. Good to see you. Good.
So, how you been? I know I've been around the world in a little bit here. Spent so many hours on a plane.
How was it?
It was cool. Just
Yeah.
one of those trips that you have to take. Interesting trip. But all I can say is it was great. It did work out like it was supposed to be. Now, I just want to let you know, yeah, ready for this week. I can't wait. I know we are on East African Excellence on Clubhouse, and also we're live on TikTok, and as well, hey, we're live on is it Facebook, and also we are on
YouTube.
This is YouTube. Yes, YouTube.
Oh, Clubhouse, right?
Jet lag. Clubhouse, TikTok, and YouTube. It's just there's a lot of things going on, so I'm trying to get myself back in the system. I wake up at about 4 o'clock in the morning, not even 4, 3 o'clock, and I'm like, that jet lag is bad. But you know what? I'm thankful I'm here. We're doing another show, and this is going to be a recap show. How about that?
Yes, it will. And welcome back. We're glad you made it back safely. You have some good news also, I hear. Is that right?
Oh yeah, the good news that I'm willing to share right now is that I have been selected to speak in a conference, an upcoming conference, which I will let you know once it's finalized. It's still in the works, so when I finalize it and figure it out, I'll be able to tell you guys, hey, this is it, and yeah, we'll be talking more about it.
Okay, well, kudos for that.
Good things are happening. Yeah, good things are happening. Good things are happening.
Absolutely, for sure. And while you're talking, we have some good news to share about some prior guests that have been on the show. They have been nominated for a BPA award. Our former guests, Dominic Lawson, former guest Anthony Weaver, and former guest Jared Butler. So kudos and shout out to those former guests of Work by Accident who have been nominated for Black Podcasting Awards. We are really excited.
Man, that's what's up. I mean, it's nice to see that people who come through to the show are getting nominated, and I mean, what do I say? It's a great honor to have people just coming through
sure.
here and later on going to make history. Like Dominic, I think he's got so many podcast awards to his name. But even though other guys are coming up, I think it's great to just show that there's quality of people coming up here who later on go to win awards. So it speaks of volumes about the collaboration that we're having right now.
Absolutely. And we'll be remiss if we don't mention Kendall Lawson, who has been nominated for Signal Awards and others. So kudos to her on her other nominations that during this award season in podcasting. So that's really exciting. And we are so happy for you guys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
For sure.
Awesome.
That was a great episode. Can't forget Mrs. Kendall Lawson.
Yeah.
So yeah, kudos to you guys. So yeah, as Sambaza mentioned, this will be a mid cap or a mid season recap show, and we're gonna take it back and talk about 6 topics that we covered on some recent episodes. We're not gonna take it all the way back, but yeah, I think that's a nice full cup of episodes to get into. So definitely want to revisit those topics and encourage you guys and invite you guys to check out the full episodes, which are available on all streaming platforms, and the visual episodes available too.
Yeah, I think we haven't done this in a while. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a minute. I think we got
Well,
caught up with the shows. We've had a lot of content. That's why I'm guessing we haven't been able to do some recaps. But now that we're here, let me start off with my affirmation of the week. My affirmation says, "I make decisions that always leads to something positive in time." Again, I make decisions that always lead to something positive in time. That's a great affirmation.
that's great. I love that. That's awesome. And how about an African proverb?
Sure. So we're going to talk about this country that's called Egypt. A lot of you know it for the pyramids, and I passed through there on my way to Kenya, which is one of the
Wow.
routes that no, it didn't take because I was in Doha. So Doha, it doesn't come through. You have to go to Europe, and then with Europe you come down through Egypt. Sorry, I'm a bit.
Mm.
So Egypt is near. Is actually near. It borders. It's actually on the border. It has a canal, and
Mhm.
um, let's see. What did they invent? They invented the calendar and timekeeping.
Okay.
They also made tables and other furniture. And coincidentally, they are also the people who created or made, manufactured or invented toothpaste and breath mints.
Mm.
Yeah. So the proverb from Egypt, our Egyptian proverb says, "He who sows the wind harvests the storm."
Okay.
He who sows the wind harvests the storm.
All right, that's pretty heavy there. What do you have to share? What do you have to share about that proverb?
I mean, you reap what you sow. Simple.
Okay.
You may say that because if you're gonna sow the wind, you're gonna as the storm. Winds come from storms, so
Right.
a storm is something bad. So you start off with sowing the wind, and the result storm. That's
Right. You have to be ready to deal with the consequences of what it, right?
yeah. If you're gonna
Yeah.
be somebody who talks, talks bad about people, someday it's gonna catch up to you. And when
Mhm.
it catches up to you. You got to be ready to, yeah, deal with those consequences, and those consequences are not going to be happy. I'm not going to be, um, the best. You're going to pay for whatever you've said. Yeah. So that's the proverb, and we'll be moving to another country next week and see what they have for us. All right. What's
Okay.
we have for today? Let's
For
start with
sh- Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that African proverb. And shout out to the chat and the other platforms that we are also sharing this broadcast with. And we even had a comment early waiting for us. So we appreciate that.
Oh yeah, Denise for Heal and Power and Release. She said, "Can't wait 100." All right. Welcome.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Miss Denise. And we hope to see you really soon. And you are invited here anytime or welcome here anytime. Like we said, we do want to follow up and touch in on some recent topics that we covered on the show. The first one that we are going to talk about is episode 220, which was when the answer is no. And this is basically talking about rejection. So thoughts about this episode?
Ah, well, on this episode, I think it was more to show the resilience that you should have in you as a
Mhm.
person when you are being told no by in these spaces. maybe it's time either for you to branch out, or it's time for you to stand up for yourself and self advocate for yourself and tell them, you know what, this is what I bring to the table, and not to cower and turn back around. Or maybe, you might need to cower at that time and kind of like step back, reinvent yourself, or process
Mhm.
what you have been told, and then use that as motivation for you to come back and come back stronger.
Absolutely. Like, I think we even talked about it being the comeback that you didn't know you needed. We've all heard no. Sometimes it really hits hard. It may be an employment situation, you may be pitching something, it may have to do with finances or, relationships, friendships, things like that. But we've, all heard no in some facet. And I think dealing with it, processing it, knowing how to process it is how we can get to that bounce back, right?
Right.
And be better. And that's kind of the goal. And so I'm glad we did talk about this because, we both have our fair share of no rejection stories that, have personally, you take it hard initially, but once you're able to, like you said, rebrand, reinvent yourself, you can turn it around and do that kind of inner work, and it makes a difference. I think so.
I remember using two sayings that I got.
Mhm.
Who's next? Which I was told by one of a podcaster who wasn't from Kenya, called Crystal Asige. And she said, when somebody tells you no, and especially when us, we call people to come to our podcast and say no, what you should think in your mind is, who's next? Don't start
Mhm.
pouting and saying, oh yeah, I want it. No, no, no. There's somebody out there who wanted to share your story or share their story and come to your podcast. It's just that you haven't gotten them. And then the other thing is, what's the best thing that can happen? And this was from Alice Rose. She is from Florida, and she does a lot of thrifty. She actually goes by Thrifty Rose on
Mhm.
Instagram. If you go check her out. Um, she said, what's the best thing that can happen? Instead of saying what's the worst thing that can happen, what's the best thing that can happen out of a situation that you encounter? So look at it in a positive manner, and I use those two as my go-to affirmations whenever I am working on my podcast or anything that I'm
Mhm.
going on in life. Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, definitely put yourself back out there. Absolutely. I love that. I think that's awesome. So let's look at well, you know what? The next topic was your presentation, if you will, or you kind of stirred the boat on this one. So why don't you share?
Oh yeah, that was yeah. I looked at it and said internet cons. The internet cons are the ones that we were looking at phishing. We were looking at the man in the middle, and how you could lose your data and how data could be manipulated, and what the consequences are, like ransomware. And then when you also get in situations where you lose your identity, that's the worst thing that
Mhm.
can ever happen to anyone. So we tackled this issue where we talked about that from a perspective of me having studied it, and that is part of my learning experience. And actually, I had just finished a class
Mhm.
on security for journalism, and that opened up my eyes again to what we are facing. Even podcasters still face the same thing. Somebody could use your name and go out there and say, "Hey, this is me," and what you gonna do about it, you know? But there's some things that you can do to cover yourself, and that's what we're trying to let the listeners and the viewers know of their options.
Yes, I'm so glad that we talked about this. This topic will never get old because people will keep trying you to the end. And I recently got tried and almost fell for it. And I almost cringe in telling you this. I don't think I got a chance to tell you this before the show. This is episode 220. By the way, we invite you to check it out. But yeah, just recently, an email came through the work email. And so, 9 to 5, you think it's legit, right? But no. And I literally like set up a Zoom call with, so rather it being a fraudster, I would say it was more spam. So it was like someone trying to sell really hard. Okay. And but anyway, I, was 4 steps away from oh, over, and I said, wait a minute, this person's not with the, the organization. But, somehow, your information gets out there, even a work email. So, be leery of work email coming through. It may not always be from the departments. That's why technology or your, maybe technology department or IT department sends those tester emails to make sure you don't fall for the phishing, because they will come through. So I guess without giving all the, I didn't let it go too far, but I did, go accept a Zoom with someone who was spamming really hard. And I was able to get out of the situation. But I said, "Oh my goodness," because I even sent it to technology or IT, and they're like, "No, this is spam." But I don't. I think it was more like a sales situation than stealing your information. But
They were trying to get your information like really hard. They tell you this is urgent, or you have to go into this meeting or something like that. Were they doing that?
yeah. So and they like tried to link it to your retirement, this
Oh,
retirement conversation. And look, that's how Bernie Madoff got people. Once they sign on the dotted line, and he's in charge of your, like it potentially could have went down a road like that, or someone who is not authorized or with my organization who wants to be the personal you know person for my retirement situation. And it's not through the company, it's not through the organization. They're just some outsider who looked up on somebody's work email, and and they yeah, so you got to be careful for the banana and the tailpipe. Don't fall for it. Don't
yeah.
fall for it.
I just want to send a special hello to Angel Amos. She is logging on TikTok, and just want to say
Yeah.
hi. Yeah, she was on our show a couple while ago talking about
Yes.
yeah, everything's doing great for her, and I notice things going on online. And hey, shout outs to you, and I'm sure everything is going to be working out great. Oh, and she says, please be careful. She was telling you about your stuff that was
Oh
going.
yeah. Thank you, and we
No,
spent a special hello to her.
right. And with that issue of you being fishing, there
Mm-hmm.
was I was listening to NPR on at BBC.
Mm-hmm.
They actually got to them and they wanted information at BBC, the news program, and they told this guy, "Look, if you give us the information and get to help us out, the IT department, we will make you rich. You will never have to work again."
Oh no.
Told him that. Yeah. So what the guy did, he went and told the IT department that this is what they had gotten to him, and they had told him, and then they tried to get more information, but they locked him out. So they kind of locked you out of the network, the main network, and then they just let you talk to the guy. But when the guy figured out that there was something going on, he stopped, and they never could be able to get him again. But
Oh
yeah, it's
wow.
yeah, you get
Yeah.
tempted. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. That was not. That was an interesting topic and
It
interesting
was.
information.
So yeah, be alert, guys, for sure.
Always,
So let's
always.
see. This might be out of order because that's like, oh no, maybe they're not. Okay, so that was 220.
What are you talking
So
about?
two. Hmm? No,
Cardi
I'm
B?
thinking
We're
in my
talking about.
head the numbers.
Oh,
No,
you.
before that was the one about the podcast closures. So that one should have
Yeah.
been 220, 221.
Did we? Did we talk? Oh yeah, we're talking about
No,
the
220.
the.
No, 220. No, it should be 222. Episode 222. So that's 20. Yeah, that was 21. So episode 222, 222 was our independent podcasters response to podcast network closures. So
Mhm.
we had an episode. We talked about there's been kind of a trend with some closures of networks. The one that's affiliated with Amazon and some others have closed up shop. And then, we had a conversation about like competing with celebrity theme podcasters or podcasts um, and that type of thing, and our independent podcasters' response to the closures. Any takeaways from that conversation?
I think I was saying we still need to have it. There's always going to be losses and gains on
Right.
any podcasting scenario or anything that comes into this, anything that started. So with podcasting, like I said, there's going to be so many people coming in. We'll have the celebrity podcasters coming in, and they all create all these networks, and then they'll still have to get advertising. Some people come in with the wrong reasons, some people come with right reasons. So it's all a matter of the whole place becomes murky, and then you start seeing where people are settling down. Oh, by
Mhm.
the way, coincidentally, I heard that Shannon Sharp, um,
Yeah.
that episode that he had with Cat Williams, that earned him more money than he's ever earned in his football career.
Wow.
Yes, just
Yeah.
that show, not any other. Leave alone
Right.
that
Yeah.
one. It just, yeah, he made all his career money. So it's like he replicated it on the show. So we
That's
have those
huge.
type of podcasters, and Joe Rogan, those celebrity
Mhm.
podcasters, Joe Budden. Those are the ones that will set the pace for us to be recognized. But then it's up to us as indie podcasters to come up and fill the void. On the baseline as the ones who will, let's say, account for your normal podcast. Oh, and actually, I was going to add this, just as a thought. I'm going to post podcasts that are actually on the planes. I
Okay.
did see podcasts that have been featured on the planes. They weren't as many as I'd seen. I usually use Air France. I didn't see as many as
Mhm.
I found on Qatar. So I took pictures of them, and I'm going to post them so that people can see that, yeah, your podcast can actually make it to an airline, and
Nice.
you're making some money and some good change. Actually, there have some African podcasters there too.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, that I mean, look, there's so many opportunities for indie podcasters. I mean, at one point in time, you had to have all of these certain numbers and thresholds on Lispin, who is our audio platform, before they would let you do advertisements. Now, as long as you have been, I think there's a time threshold and not necessarily a numbers threshold anymore. And now we're eligible for ads, and we've made a little money over there with that. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's not, balling out of control right yet, but it's something, and I think they're looking for the ones who have been around and maintained, and it's okay, so different opportunities come to independence, I guess is my point.
Yeah, and yeah, the other part is also community. Most of the
Mhm,
podcasters, like, we have our own community of people, even though they could be like 20 and 30 or 40 or 50, doesn't matter. That's
mhm.
our community, and we'll grow from that because people are always looking for that place of belonging. And I think that's where we come in as indie podcasters, that we're
Mhm.
able to know one person here, one person there, and can call them out specifically rather than have like millions and millions and you don't know who's who.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, that was a good topic. Thank you for sharing about that. And it's just ever changing. I mean, those numbers that you mentioned with Shannon Sharp is huge. Even mainstream podcasts have had some record breaking podcast numbers. Look at New Heights with Travis Kelsey and Jason Kelsey when they had Taylor Swift on. That almost broke the internet with that one. So, and even though they're a popular podcast, they had never seen those kind of numbers before. So, and they're pretty consistent too. So it's opportunities for independence for sure. In light of the celebrity ones too. I think there's
Yep.
room for all of the bread in the bread aisle, obviously. So,
Yep. Yep.
okay.
Oh, by the way, shout outs to the New York Yankees.
Okay.
They lost yesterday 3-1 to the Boston Red Sox, but I'm hoping they probably do something better today. But
Oh.
anyway,
All right. Well, shout out to that. And then the next one was a fun episode. I was really excited about this one. Lessons from Cardi B. And we had a conversation about fandom culture in light of the recent Cardi B trial, which was televised and pretty entertaining. You can actually pull up the whole thing and watch it out on YouTube on a lot of the court channels and see how it all kind of started with a fan moment going gone wrong, if you will, where she was approached by a security guard who's African American woman, and she was going to a doctor's appointment, and so she was not welcoming this attention, and because of her response, it led to this horrible altercation that led to this lawsuit, multi-million-dollar lawsuit, which was thrown out, and Cardi B was cleared of any wrongdoing. Yay for Cardi B. But no, but it kind of lent to the question of, what's going too far. This security guard allegedly pulled out her phone, like she was recording her. And then so we had this conversation of, if people looking for that viral moment and things like that.
yeah, it was really interesting when you looked at both perspective. You know, first of all, you look at the angle of being a human. I think that was her most vulnerable moment, where
Yeah.
she was at her let's say at her most exposed. Then you do now fight with the other reality that, look, you're a star. This is what you expect. That's why you have a bodyguard. That's what you wanted to be.
Right.
And um there's something I always say: for anything you gain, you always have to lose something in return. The question
Mm.
is, at what cost is it to you? So
Okay.
these are things. You want to be a superstar? Fine, go ahead, be a superstar. But each time
Mhm.
you go being a superstar, remember, you're gonna have to lose something. You're gonna lose your private life, or
Yikes.
you're gonna be more public.
Mm.
So yeah, that was really one of those where we question the fandom culture, and we question the humanity of a star, because they are humans.
Right.
When you look at them, we breathe the same air. It's just that we put them on a pedestal, and that's
Exactly.
the difference. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely and I've met quite a few so famous people. I even thought about some more. I know you asked me during the episode, and I thought about two others last night when I was thinking about this episode. I met Wayne Brady. Have I
Oh,
told you about Wayne Brady's story? I know I told some of the other people in the collective. When me and my husband got married, we went to Vegas as our honeymoon, and we went to see Wayne Brady's show. It was called Making It Up, or Making It Up. And he came through the crowd and picked me, and I got to go on stage with Wayne Brady in Vegas. So it was kind of it was kind of cool, but he was so cool. And this is kind of beside the point, but I'm just saying, like, I didn't, I tried to play it cool, right? Because I don't want to be that one, like, oh my God, it's not that serious. Like, it really isn't. I mean, I feel like even if I met Beyonce, which that would be amazing and cool, I want her to think I'm cool, right? So I would try to be my coolest, and I usually try to be that way when I meet people. I met somebody else good, and I was trying to remember. Dang it, who was it? That was recent, because I think the ones I mentioned were like from college, and I'm like, oh Lord, I've met people since then. Dang, I forgot now. But yeah. So I think you want to. They put their pants on one leg at a time, just like we do. They're people too. Yes, they're on television. Yes, they have fame and all of that. But the worst case, asking them if they don't mind taking a picture, if they're cool, if they got and their feelings about it, leave it alone, and keep it moving. So.
yeah. That's the major question is, when you meet your star, the superstar, how are you gonna act? Are you gonna
Oh, I
act?
just remember.
The person who you're gonna, yes. So who did you meet?
Okay, so I just remembered it was Marlon Wayne's, and that
Ah,
was fairly recently when we like I said, we used to go to a lot of concerts and comedy shows. That was like our thing. But in the last, I guess, maybe the last 8 years or so, we got a chance to meet Marlon Wayne's after a comedy show. He was super cool and cracking jokes and all that stuff. So yeah.
so yeah, you just the main thing is, uh, and I can't fault you as a human being. You know, when you have become a fan of somebody, and then when you meet them, you get starstruck. It
Hmm.
happens. So it's just how you control yourself.
Right.
And sometimes you can't help it. I mean, I
Yeah,
think
I mean, I probably would get really excited if I met
if
Beyonce.
I
I
met
would try to
LeBron
be.
James, if I met LeBron James, I mean, I'd be starstruck. If I met some people, yes, I will be. Let me say,
Yeah.
I'll be starstruck. I'll just try to maintain my cool and
Right.
just have a normal conversation. I think
Yes.
to me, it's to get past that first initial stage of being starstruck and then now having a normal conversation if you allow
Right.
me to. Don't come with that. Oh yeah, you're if if they project like you're my fan and stuff like that, or like they curious to know about me, I think we can
Mhm.
have a conversation, um, a meaningful conversation. But if it's
Right.
like a fan to a superstar, then that will put me in the position where I'll be like, "Oh my God, you are so and so. Oh my God." I think I need better. Have a conversation with me. Ask me
Yeah.
and
I know,
ask me about,
exactly.
do you like my music or stuff like that, and I tell you about my music. And yeah,
Right, like, I think if I got to meet Beyonce, I would just go into full podcast mode, like, "Okay, can I ask you a couple questions?" Like, this is a great content moment now. But no, yeah, I think we try to be cool about it and, treat them like a human being because they are, right?
yeah. But another thing is how they get presented. You ever seen like, how, like, if you bumped into her, like say you went in a corner and you bumped into her, you're not expecting her, and she was not, and you bump into each other and you're like, hey, how are you doing? You're like, okay, you have this conversation, and it'll be a normal conversation. But if you're made prepared, like you're put in a show, in a room, your green room, like you're getting ready to talk to Beyonce, she's gonna come up in the next 5 minutes. Then somebody comes in, hey, you ready? She's coming in the next 2 minutes. That amps you up, and now you get into your full fan mode, not like being the normal person. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, you'll go be a fan at that time. It's how it's presented. But if you're walking in a mall and met them like you're shopping, and then he's like, "Hey, yeah, what's going on? We're shopping." It's weird.
But you know what? I think the point
Weird.
is to treat people with respect, no matter who they are. I wouldn't try to start a fight with some random girl. So why am I going to try to start a fight with Cardi B just because she like, nah, we ain't doing that today. You know what I mean? I'd be like, girl, I get it. Okay. Peace out. So, that's all you can do. And shout out
Like,
to the chat.
did you ever see this time when Barack Obama went to vote, and then there was a lady there who was voting. I think he was with his boyfriend, with her boyfriend there, and they were just chatting. And this is the president. He was then the president of the United States,
Hmm.
and he was just chatting in the booth, and they just laughed, and he said something funny. They laughed, and gone. No more
Hmm.
day. Just, yeah. I hear Denise is saying, "Hello, family. Welcome, Denise." Yeah, you said you couldn't wait. Now you ask us how Jen is going to react when she sees Beyonce. Well, hey, I know this girl is going to be like, "Wow, that what I want to know for sure."
No, we're gonna be cool, right? We're gonna play it
Ah,
cool.
nah, Jen, look, that's your one time. You get one shot.
Just like I really enjoy your
Oh yeah,
music.
remember,
I
remember we also talked about Eminem. Remember that song,
Oh
Stan?
god, yeah.
Yeah, that's a classic right there. That's a
Yeah,
classic.
don't be Stan. That did not end well. Do not be Stan.
Don't be that
Nobody
guy.
wants to be, yeah, don't be that guy. Yeah.
That was that
Okay.
was that was a segment.
So there's two more that oh, what did she say? She said, "Hey, Yankees." All right, you guys. um yes. So this next one, episode 224, was talking about prostate cancer aware. Actually, it was called Mind Your, what is it? Mind Your Business Down There. We called it. And in light of that, we talked about prostate awareness and reproductive issues for the ladies.
Oh yeah. We're talking about it.
What? What are you shaking your head for?
You didn't want to use the words penis and vagina.
No, that's not what I. You know what?
Words.
Prostate is prostate. So I said that word. But reproductive health matters for the ladies, specifically fibroid matters and concerns and perimenopause for, which is tied to your reproductive situation for the ladies. And so we had this conversation, something that we don't talk about in a lot of shared mixed spaces with men and ladies. So yeah, I thought this was a good episode for sure. With Prostate Awareness Month being last month, I thought that was timely. We also saw a celebrity story. The singer Montel Jordan was in the news talking about his battles with prostate cancer. And I love that he was, on a lot of news places sharing that story because we need to hear it. Like we said, this is a silent killer of Black men. And I think the more we talk of normalize these conversations, the better it'll be for people getting those screenings. You shared about your screening. Share about that.
Oh, by the way, once I finished the show last time, Tiffany says, "Oh, you guys were talking about fibers. I was supposed to be there." I was like, "Yeah."
We did have a converse, or
No, she was supposed to come to the show and talk about that particular one because before that, we were talking about something totally different at that time. But she was supposed
yeah, we
to talk
threw
about
it around. We did throw it
right.
around, having her join us in
I'm
that
like,
conversation.
"Ooh, I missed out." And I was like, "Yeah, you did." But
Yeah.
back to the topic.
We'll have to get her as
Some point.
professional health expertise again.
Right.
And shout out to Miss Tiffany. She did join us on a prior episode where we talked about a lot of great health topics and mental health. We've gotten to a lot of topics on that episode, so we invite you to check that episode out with Miss Tiffany B.
Right.
Yeah.
So, my experience, well, all I was telling people, it was just a simple thing. You go get into the doctor's office, and then what they do is just tell you drop your pants, and he just checks your penis and your manhood, and that's about it. Just tells you to cough a little bit, and once you're done with that, you're good to go. I think it's your mental mindset where
Okay.
it kind of throws you off when you look at it like another man is looking at you. But this is his job. If you look at it, it's his job. That's what he's supposed to do. And this is a quick test. It barely take you like about 2 minutes. Just yeah, maybe the most embarrassing thing is just to drop your pants. But at that point in time, you don't look at it that way. You just it'll just be like a normal thing. I think the other thing I also talked about was the colonoscopies. Just us black men being able to talk about those things and going for those checkups, have them done frequently.
Yes.
Once a year for your prostate. Colonoscopies are usually done if you have family history,
Mhm.
every 5 years. So for me, it's every 5 years. But if you are not if it's not an issue, you probably do every 10 years. And I think once you get to the age of 50, they'll probably do it every 5 years. So those are two things as people, especially black people, well, everybody, but especially black people, we are more susceptible to these
Yes.
particular ones. Let's
Yes.
talk about it because we never talk about it. We never. I joke about it, but just kind of like to ease the mood so that people can come up and talk about it, and also go have these screenings. These screenings sometimes are free if you are in the if you are in Kenya. Sometimes expensive, but they do have some camps. They call them camps or clinics where you can go
Mhm.
and access that. For us here, if you have healthcare, you're able to go into getting these things. So
Mhm.
getting these exams, uh, if try them every once in a year, just have it checked, and you'll be fine. It's not a big deal. But if you let it go, especially let it go stay longer, then you get creating more problems, because at that point,
Absolutely.
when you discover it, it'll be in a situation where now you are too too far gone. So not well, I don't want to say too far gone. I say it'll have progressed. Whereas if you catch it early, oh, things can be corrected, surgery or medicine. Yeah, things have changed nowadays. It's not like back in the day.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you sharing about that because I mean that is very, personal to share and you are sharing that on our public platform. And so kudos to you for sharing about screenings.
Oh, welcome
So
anytime, anytime.
yeah, we appreciate that. That's very dope of you to do that. And ladies, please, get your woman wellness. And even if you're not experiencing a pain, doesn't mean that there's not something going on. And I thought I can't have fibroids because I'm not experiencing these pains and things like that. But yeah, I did. I am experiencing it along with PCOS. Don't even get me started on that one. It's all these different things that that we are more, like you said, susceptible to being African Americans because of vitamin D levels and our diet and just genetic makeup and all. Don't even get me started on all the things. So but we can be better. We can be stronger and change it. Oh, like not too long ago we talked about A1C and me. That is still a constant. I don't want to say battle, journey. Let's call it a journey. So yeah, that's something that we're constantly dealing with. The goal is to knock it out the park. You know what I mean? Um,
Why
so
you
yeah,
having hot flashes already?
excuse you. No. So I am not
Oh,
there yet, but it's on the horizon. So, but shout out to the ones who are. So yeah,
woo!
you know what? Stop. Stop and stop.
Yeah, Jen. 1 minute you're hot, next thing you're cold, next thing you're just like here. Oh man, look.
Yeah,
Yeah,
these are the fun things that ladies have to deal with, right?
yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. Uh, well, us men don't have to deal with that. I guess us is more emotional.
Okay. Yeah, so we're slide by that one. Let's see. So episode 225, our most recent one, talked about what was it called? Is it worth it? AI, is it worth it? Right. So we talked about benefits and challenges of authenticity regarding AI. So thoughts on this?
Actually, I wanted to do this on the authenticity. I gotta throw in this. There's a blog post that I just put in. It's called "When AI Fails." I have it on Jabba na Sambaza. It's on my on my blog post page or blog post site on Wix. If you go
Mhm.
search that, you will find when AI fails. It talks about AI and mostly about representation.
You had
Um,
another one too. What was it like? Is it cheating to use AI or something like
Cheating
that?
to AI, yes, that's one of the
Mm.
things I've explored those two. Um, and this one now is the most recent one where it talks about how, in briefly, how we look at AI, especially as Black people, how it
Mm.
represents you. Remember, you put up some pictures on of AI that we looked at that were different, that
Right.
came up. Those are much better. But there's some sites that would put up your AI information and would be different. Also, if you notice that there was a time, or some of the AI models or thinking, right, how it's being programmed.
That was one of
So how the AI has been programmed does not look at the ethnicity or culture.
them.
So you may prompt it to do something and it gives you a different result based on the fact that it's not been trained to distinguish other cultures. It's only trained
Right.
to distinguish one culture. So that's one of the things that I'm exploring on that particular episode, and that's also what we're
Mhm.
talking about on this show. How AI is able to change things. However, we have to make sure that it's presented well to
Mhm.
us, even though it does help a lot. I mean, you can't hate AI for what it is. It is
Mhm.
great, but we also have to be also in those spaces as AI developers, engineers, and what have you.
Yeah, I mean, but it's pretty sophisticated with in relation to the prompt. You can tell the prompt that I want a deep complected African American woman or man with natural hair and, you know, round face and, these really descriptive things. And it, will produce that. And you can tailor it and curve it. So, yeah, it works pretty well, especially the ones that you have to pay for usually can get, and even the voice and things like that. The ones I had did not sound like black lady, but they were free, so yeah.
Oh, by the way, there has been a rift going on, a backlash with AI in Hollywood. They created an AI model, and she was like I mean, hey, it's really authentic and everything. You think this is the real deal. However, it's AI, and
Hmm.
the Actors Guild, really came out strong about what its representation will be and what it will do to other actors. So they just said,
Hmm.
you know what, this is just a portrayal and just art. So just appreciate art. But guess what? Yeah, it
But what
probably
happened? It was like a movie, or it was what?
just a person, a lady. They created a lady, and
Hmm.
like, okay, you could hire her, as in contract,
Oh.
and then put her into work. Yeah, but it's AI. It's an AI model.
Hmm. Mm.
Yeah, so that was it created a lot of people weren't happy. Tongue wagging.
Right.
Yes.
Interesting. I think I did, but I didn't click on the article. And I think we were in an audio room where they were talking about that too. So that's, yeah,
Mhm.
really interesting. But I mean, like we talked about the positives with AI, there's so many. It saves time when you're trying to run your business and create show notes and lots, editing benefits. The benefits. I think that conversation was really helpful. I hope people, got something from that part.
Most definitely, yeah, it does help a lot. Well, it's considering that we're always a one-man team or two-man team or three, four. That does help cut off a whole lot of stuff when you're trying to prepare show notes, especially. Yeah,
Absolutely. Make descriptions for things, with content. Even, in your everyday, in the 9 to 5, just you want to have a more concise, written communication, even a simple email, or maybe you're drafting a letter that has to go out. And you just want a nice crisp tone, and so running it through AI, it's really,
yep. That's
it,
when Grammarly helps. Just throwing it
there.
out.
Yeah, that's one of them. I mean, it's so many. Gemini, is pretty helpful
DeepSeek.
as well.
You heard of DeepSeek, right? DeepSeek does too.
Okay.
Yeah, so those are some of the programs that can help you out. There's so many. I mean, you could go through many. The funny one was just that one you created, Jen. I don't know how they're gonna put you as a. They would hire you if it was in Hollywood. You with the Indian voice. The Indian lady
That
voice.
was not an. I know you keep saying that, but that was not
It
that.
was a British Indian lady voice. Yes, it was.
Okay.
You didn't hear the way the tone it was coming out. It was.
It did kind of have a British, but
It was. Yeah, it was an Indian. It was a British Indian woman.
no, she wasn't.
You got it. Let's hear it.
Okay, let me
Let's,
find it.
you got it. I'm telling you.
Oh my god, we had so many clips. Where did I
Yeah, I tell
put?
you.
Shout out to Opus Clips, right? And check out the affiliate link in the show notes.
We're affiliates of many, but just check out our affiliate links and see what will help you out. We got some coupons there or some discounts that you use once you use our affiliate links. And hey, you know what? It does help us make a little bit of money here and there and supports the show. So if you go through the links and find something and use that link, you are kind of helping us out.
Oh, absolutely. Even StreamYard. Okay, I found it.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
let's see.
let's play. I'm telling you, you sounded like
in
it
Washington,
sounded
host and creator of Woke by Accident podcast, a platform dedicated to amplifying important stories and issues impacting African Americans and their communities.
And that is custom from Heygen.
Okay.
Heygen. I spelled it wrong last time. Don't ask me why. Yeah, so
Okay.
that's pretty cool. And then that was one of the pictures I made.
Yeah.
I had one
But do you
other
think
video.
that's a lie? That's misrepresentation. Not. I mean, like, say you're going on a dating website, and then somebody puts pictures like those, and then
Mm.
what you see there and what you see when you see the person, don't you feel like it's gonna be?
It was like Photoshop or something, kind of. So
I'm
not.
better than that. Because if that picture you took was like, okay, I just took a picture, and then you show up, man, you better be better than that. Because if you're not, then we have a problem.
Oh, now you have a problem. Okay, let's look at the other video. This had a different voice.
Oh, okay.
Welcome to Curvy Closet with Jen, your go-to spot for a fun and unique thrifting experience. I'm Jen, also known as Jen Dub, and I absolutely love bringing you fashion finds.
Okay. So I think it was like a cheerful voice or something was the description. So I was like, okay, this is my business. Let me pick something youthful and cheerful.
Yeah, it worked.
I kind of did that voiceover, really,
You still
though.
use it? Do you still use it? Or
Yeah.
is that the first?
No, I use it.
Oh, okay. That's what's up. That's what I'm talking about.
Heck yeah, I'm using these credits. Hey, Jen.
Hey.
Look, I got one more credit left.
Oh, so wait. So it's not yours. Is it stuck on the site?
No,
Is it stuck?
it lets you download it.
Oh, so now you have it downloaded on your computer, so you can.
Yeah, so they give you so many credits to test it out before
Okay.
you have to pay. Because apparently
Okay.
it's a paid site, but they roll you out with so many credits. Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay. So Jen, I think with that, we probably should wind up the show because
Yes.
it's been a great day. I'm still recovering from my jet lag, and not maybe, but I should be great next week. Shout outs to everyone who showed up on TikTok and who showed up on Clubhouse. We do appreciate you, and all those who actually came through on YouTube. It's been wonderful. So with that, Jen, take us home.
Absolutely. We appreciate everyone coming through on the various platforms. And we hope that you found today's conversation inspiring or enlightening. And if you found today's episode meaningful, we encourage you to share it with others, family, friends, colleagues. Our collective awareness and advocacy play a crucial role in creating positive change. We invite you to stay tuned for more engaging content, and we look forward to continuing these important conversations in the future. So, with that, we will again thank you all and take care. Oh, there we go.